Blessed be Ahia, oh my soul.
I give all thanks for you. These songs.
Blessed be the Most High, Ahia, oh my soul, and all that's within me. Bless His holy, set apart name. In Yeshua, the children, where I shall be magnified. He shall be magnified. He shall be glorified. Pardon me, music's messing up a bit. Let's start it over. Blessed be Ahia, O my soul, and all that is within me. Bless His holy, set apart name. In Yeshua, the true and living word, my Savior, He shall be glorified. Shalom, sis, and grand risings to you this beautiful day. I pray that you are doing well on this wonderful day. I trust that you will, you and yours truly. And the awesomeness of the Most High His word. Today we're going to be discussing a topic. After I play this song, I'm gonna let you know what the topic is. This song, I found out what the artist's name was of the song I played last time. Something about your name. Her name is Tati Sachi. I think that's how you say it. And this song is called Worthy. Now I had this other song on repeat yesterday, but this song is what I heard this rising, waking up in my spirit. He's worthy, so I'm gonna go ahead and play this. And then we're going to go into our lesson for today. I'm going to type her name in so y'all can know who it is. Tati Sachi, I think that's how you say it. It sounds like she say Tati Sachi. Not Tati, like that.
All thanks for you. These songs I sing, even in my suffering, you're worthy of all of me. My heart seeks to make you proud. Oh, everything I do right now is gonna be for you, and I vow to view me the way you do. Putting your spirit first, meditating on your word. Hey, 'cause even when I'm suffering, you're worthy of all of me. In you, the fullness shall dwell, yeah. Through you, I'll always prevail, yeah. Reconcile me to yourself, poured your blood out so I don't live helpless. Jesus, you're reckless. Your love overwhelming. Forever and ever, 'cause even if I'm suffering, you're worthy of all of me.
Even when I'm suffering.
Da da dee da da, da 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 dee da da. Hey. Even if I'm suffering, you're worthy of all of me. Da da dee da da, da 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 dee da da. 'Cause even when I'm suffering, you're worthy of all of me.
I'm gonna play while I get my word and everything, like the scriptures together. Let me tell y'all something right now. This topic I'm getting ready to address today is a topic that I have discussed a while ago, a long time ago, and the topic is jealousy. Not something anybody would like to want to. This seems a bit fun, but Father let it be known this morning, very quite clear and frank. He said, look up some scriptures on it and address it. And not that I'm in a position to address, like whenever I bring lessons out by the Spirit of the Father, it's never a lesson that I feel that I'm worthy above. I examine myself by, as I am also a ministering vessel to do, okay? The thing about the heart is that it is deceitful above all things. Who can know it? In other words, no one can know the heart other than the Father. So by being in His word, He searches the heart to reveal things and brings things to the surface so that things can be properly addressed. Okay. Sometimes the nature of flesh can be hidden by habit and by nature and by the nature of flesh and by continual things being observed that we're not even aware ourselves. The Holy Spirit is an awesome, Father, where he's able to reveal to us things that we think that we don't suffer from. And the beauty of being real and searching ourselves out now and judging ourselves now is so that we don't have to be judged on that later. All right. So I'm going to play this next song. This song is by the same artist. Her name is Tati Sachi, and this song is called Free. I had this song on repeat yesterday. You hear me? Like it's crazy. If I would have heard this song, if I would have found her, because I couldn't, when I first had played the song that I shared with you all that day I was on here when I had that Paul's Burden. If I would have knew her, she had an album and all this kind of stuff going on. That song that day when I was telling y'all about how the Most High gave me a vision, he was reminding me how I was redeemed and how he is a redeemer. This song goes very well with it. So I want y'all to hear this song. Be blessed by the lyrics. And I'm going to finish getting these scriptures in order.
Welcome to my happy place. Come on, let's check out what's new at home. When you want...
I see the pain inside your eyes. I know there's plenty things you're trying to hide from me. Don't fake it, lower your pride. You can put your trust in me.
Lower the pride.
Pour your heart to me. I feel it. All the pain you went through, I know it, I've seen it. Let me take that off from you. Release it, I'm here, baby. All this love was meant for you. I know you don't think it, but all this time I've been here with you. Trust in me. I got all you need. I promise I'm here, baby. All those tears that I'm caught on my seat, I'm here, baby. Put your trust in me. In my presence, you're free, baby. In my presence, you're free, baby. Trust in me.
It's a scam. I bet you it's a scam. Yep. Decline. Mess my whole song up. Well, I'm trying to get these scriptures in.
I see the pain inside your eyes. I know there's plenty things you're trying to hide from me. Don't fake it, lower your pride. You can put your trust in me. Pour your heart to me. I feel it. All the pain you went through, I know it, I've seen it. Let me take that off from you. Release it, I'm here, baby. All this love was meant for you. I know you don't think it, but all this time I've been here with you. Trust in me. I got all you need. I promise I'm here, baby. All those tears that I'm caught on my seat, I'm here, baby. Put your trust in me. In my presence, you're free, baby. In my presence, you're free, baby. Trust in me. I got all you need. I promise I'm here, baby.
Are you kidding me? That's it. We're going into the lesson. because I'm not going to be disturbed. I'm not going to have the enemy continue to throw me off. We're going into the lesson. That's the second scammer for today. Mind you, I get about good 4 or 5, 3 scammers a day on calls. So with that being said, we're going to disconnect this phone because this message will not be disturbed. That's a lovely song. You can check it out. That's the artist. You can look up the song. It's called Free. Put my phone on vibrate. Now, starting off with this lesson, before I go, I want to read some scriptures. I haven't done these in a while. So. The first one is Hebrews 10:24. Let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds. Okay, and good deeds. Hebrews chapter 10:24. And the next one is 1 Peter 4:10. Each one should use whatever gift he has received to serve others, faithfully and administering a highest grace toward in its various forms. 1 Peter 4:10. All right. Now, let's get this on the road. There's a few Psalms I want to read, and then I'm going to go into 2 different lessons. Today, we're going to be looking at Joseph and David. Okay. What I wrote in my notes, as I was getting ready this rousing for this lesson, was wherever the anointed are, there seems to always be envy and jealousy and hatred. And it's no wonder, because if the spirit of the wicked one could be jealous of the Messiah, the Mashiach, in the heavens, of the word, and the position of the Creator himself, and seek to take his position, when he got kicked out, he didn't change his mind. He brought that way of thinking down here. And his children operate the same way. And sometimes those who call themselves loving the Most High or wanting to serve the Most High find themselves operating in this characteristic, running their mouth behind people's backs, thinking that you could have secret counsel. Let's just let Psalm 64 talk for us, shall we? Psalm 64. There is nothing that can be said out of somebody's mouth that the Holy Spirit will not reveal. If you are a snake, guess what? I ain't mad at you. You just be that snake that you know how to just slither the way you know how to slime. Okay. That's just where I'm at with it. I'm done frustrating myself over snakes. And it's sad when you even read about snaking the Most High's anointed. But let's let Psalm 64, which is a very familiar scripture. I'm at this point now when the Most High takes me to Psalm 64. It's like a spiritual, it's like a meeting, like huddle up, like somebody's being wicked out here. And it ain't just somebody. He always puts you on. He always reveals who you are to me. So please stop. Just get yourself together and find something else to do. And if it ain't just at me, if you're hating on just of somebody else, what gets me is a person will act the actions of jealousy and envy and hatred and backbiting and gossip. Then when a person calls you to what you was doing, you act like you got amnesia. And that's why there ain't no friend like the Most High. Ain't no friend like the Most High. Psalm 64. The first time I've ever had come to this place was when I discovered 2 snakes. And I wrote that in my other Bible. But here, when I came to this last night, I was not ignorant of any vessel that by my Father revealing to me, running your mouth, putting your mouth on me, talking behind my back, smiling in my face and stabbing me on back. I'm not doing snakes. Psalm 64. Hear my voice, O Ahijah, as I pray to thee. Preserve my life from the fear of my enemy. Hide me from the wickedness of the evil one, from the corruption of the workers of iniquity. who whet their tongues like a sword and charge their words with poison like an arrow, that they may shoot in secret at the innocent. Subtly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves with evil speech. They plan to hide snares. They say, who shall see us? Do they say this or do they really think this when they're acting out their wickedness? They plan wickedness, but they are destroyed in order to consume evil from among men and from the depths of the heart. But Ahiah is great. Suddenly he shall shoot at them with an arrow. So shall their tongues be silenced, and all that see them shall be frightened. And all men shall fear and shall declare the work of Ahiah, for they shall wisely consider the work of his hands. The righteous shall be glad in Ahiah and shall trust in him, and all the upright in heart shall glorify him. All the upright in heart. It didn't say all those that have prince with the power of the Most High and proud man. It said that. All right, so that's one. Y'all know I'm just on a different wave right now, and the wave I'm on is basically it's me and the Most High, like real rap. It's me and the Most High, me and the Most High, and the upright. Those that have a pure, a genuine, a sincere, humble, meek heart, I can deal with. But you little snakes that want to smile on somebody's face. I got a few scriptures written here on jealousy. We're going to go ahead and read. And then we're going to go to the story of Joseph and David. And what I realized is I remember on this, what the world calls, let me see. On the 5th day of this week, which is to the world October 7th, will be a year anniversary that I came when I went to the Harriet Tubman location. And the Most High let me know he wanted me to be there for a word. And I remember that day when I came back home. That day before that, I had intentions to call for a corporate fast so that we could, me and whoever was willing could fast for a sister, Lakeisha Nolan, who it was for, to denounce, seek, calling the Holy Spirit a female, to try to help her out. But after giving her several scriptures, it's come to the point where the Most High was like, just let it go. Just let it be. And I was hoping that we could do 12-hour fast. Not 12, maybe like from 12 to 12. Yeah, 12 and 12. But the Father pushed me further. And when I came home, I looked and examined. It was 17 complete hours. When I was reading about Joseph, Joseph, I looked, and when this event of what his brothers did to him, it occurred when he was 17 years old. And you just got to think about that. He was a child loved of his father in his late age. You know what? Let's get that now. And then we'll read some of those scriptures in between. I want to start off, let's see, Genesis 37. Let's go to verses 4. Yeah. Now I'll start at verse 1. Now, just think about that. He was 17 when his brothers did that to him. He was young. He was a child of his father in late age. So his brothers had to be some years older than him. Plus, Leah had children before Rachel did. Rachel had a while before she had children. Joseph was her first one. So you could imagine the family dynamic. It's like we don't need a reality show to see this, but just try to picture this, right? He favored Rachel. He wanted to marry Rachel. He didn't want Leah, but he got tricked to marry her. So to some extent, the hatred that he probably expressed to her was probably the anger, the frustration of how the circumstance played out. And also him being an upright man in heart, mad because what he did want, And when he thought he was going to get relief, or like, when somebody's working hard for something and they don't get that, it's like the biggest smack to your face. So in turn, all that frustration could have been all what he placed on Leah. Like when a man goes to work, he had a bad day, he come home and take it out on his wife or the children. And so when Rachel being stated that she was beautiful and she had Joseph, you can imagine how happy Jacob was. His other children from Leah and Leah's concubine, well, his concubine, Leah's servant, her handmaid that her father gave to her, it was like, the children felt like as if, where's our love? And I don't believe that he loved them any less. You can examine and see that he was old. It was so long she was barren. It was as if she couldn't have, and then she had. It's like what you would say, a miracle baby. Okay, let's read on. Let's go to verse 1 of Genesis 37. Now Jacob dwelt in the land where his father was a stranger, in the land of Canaan. This is the history. Now listen to that right there. Like seriously, please listen to that right there. He was a stranger in the land of Canaan. But where did Jacob's father come from? Father's father come from? They came out of the land of the Chaldeans of Ur. So wherever that land was, that's where Abraham came out of. That means his children, as Abraham was what would you say? He was a traveler, a sojourner. So was the same for Isaac and Jacob. So they were in lands that they weren't familiar to. They were not from. So when you see this here, it's very important that this doesn't go overlooked, because it saves you from being deceived. I'm going to show you something. It says over here in my Aramaic Peshitta, Abraham left Haran and crossed the Euphrates River and traveled to Canaan. There is a reference to Jacob as a wandering Aramean in Deuteronomy 26, verses 5. So the nationality that they were titled by was Aramean, and they spoke Aramaic. They weren't Aramean people, like, what we would say today. But the Most High called our Aramean out. Abraham left the home of Ur of the Chaldeans. They were not called Hebrews. And the reason that we need to get this through our brains is because when you fully see the truth from language, from nationality, from covenant, from the spirit, it eliminates the extra access of nonsense that these false ones behind the scenes try to push. All right. So if you want to find that reference of Jacob being called a wandering Aramean, it's Deuteronomy 26, verse 5. I'll type it in the chat. It didn't say he was a wandering Hebrew. I'm not trying to be petty. Just please look at that. 26, 5. I'll put 25. 26, 5. Okay. Now, let's proceed. Verse 2. This is a history of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brothers, and the lad was with the sons of Bilhah and the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives. Zilpah, my baby. Okay, wives. And Joseph brought a bad report to them of his father. another little side note of prophets. Some people call them tattletellers or troublemakers because they're always snitching. Now, Jacob loved Joseph more than all his children because he was the son of his old age. Simple. So the Lord was basically like, he looked upon his son and saw, that's my strength. Just like he said with Reuben, my strength, he saw strength in Joseph. His strength in his old age. It was like the Most High blessed me with a child, and even though I was old, just like Abraham looked upon Isaac. Verse 4, but when his brothers saw that their father loved him more than all his brothers, they hated him and could not speak peaceably to him. So that talks about the tone of how they communicated. Every time they talked to him, they was just nasty. Just short, rude. Pay attention. I'm talking to anybody. If you have children or if you are a person that you say hello to somebody like, huh? Well, it's just unnecessary attitude. Like, what is the problem? Like, what is the problem? Today, ZRA is going to be very organically real. I ain't in the mood. I ain't in the mood for the phony, the fake. I'm not in the mood. Nope, I ain't doing it. Nope. Examine if you have children that act a certain way with a sibling. Joseph didn't ask for that love. Joseph didn't do anything for that favor, for that the mannerism of how his father treated him. But he still wanted to be included to his brothers, though. He was the baby. Now Joseph had a dream and he told it to his brothers and they hated him even more. Oh my goodness. He didn't even give himself the dreams. He's loved of his father and he's a dreamer. And he had the kind of spirit in him that if something was going off wrong, chances are he would tell his dad. They're like, when you're dealing with prophet children, signs you can identify is they're very different in communication and adaptation, like how they adapt, what they view, what is important to them and what is not important to them amongst other adolescent children. Some people will say to those kind of prophet children, stay in a child's place. You're being grown. You're doing too much. Because just remember, Yasha, he was 12 years old when he was in the temple, communicating with the elders when his mother was like, where were you at? Da, 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 da. Probably some more things. Get the white Mary out your mind. Because she just was like, we were concerned for you. No, that's not the picture. Where was you at? You know what I'm saying? Put you a melanated mother up in that scene. You need to stay in a child's place. How you gonna say anybody say you can't take care of yourself? You know how our moms be. You know how us mothers are. I mean, Samuel and Jeremiah were young when the father called them. And David was a young man. He wasn't a little boy like all these little animation characteristic cartoons come up with. Some little whole boy. He was a young man. I mean, they make him a puny little boy. I mean, come on now, that's a bit extreme. Because surely after that, he slayed the giant. He was able to receive someone's wife. A little boy can't marry somebody's wife. So animators out there, y'all need to get that together. verses 7. They were binding sheaves in the field. Then behold, my sheep arose. This sent Joseph on a dream, and also stood upright. And indeed, your sheep stood all around and bowed down to my sheep. And his brothers said to him, shall you indeed reign over us? Or shall you indeed have dominion over us? So they hated him even more for his dreams and for his words. Then he dreamed still another dream and told it to his brothers and said, look, I have dreamed another dream. And this time the sun and the moon and the 11 stars bowed down to me. So he told it to his father and his brothers. And his father rebuked him and said to him, what is this dream that you have dreamed? Shall your mother and I, your brothers, indeed come to bow to the earth before you? And his brothers envied him, but his father kept the matter in mind. This prophet here, there it goes, that a prophet is without honor in their own home. They have perceived the interpretation of the dream with a heart of malice and guile. This dream is also very well a representation of the nation, of our tribes, and of our king, which is Yasha. The burden of our king was laid upon somebody else, which is named Joseph, or the suffering, which is a thing to come for our learning, so that we can. So it was a story in our nation could experience what was to happen down the road. Not only that, but as a nation, we were treated like Joseph. Our king was treated like Joseph. No other nations were stripped, were taken from their home, were abandoned by their own kindred, like their brother or others, mocked, ridiculed, and then shall become rulers. This is a reflection of the nation of Jacob bowing and serving the king, the Mashiach, the true and living Son of the Most High. And notice it says the moon and, where was that at? The moon and the sun and the moon and the 11 stars bowed down to him. All creation acknowledges the king. Straight up when he appears, there will be no need for the light of the sun or the moon. Right? Let's go to verses 12. Then his brothers went to feed their father's flock in Shechem. And Jacob said to Joseph, are not your brothers feeding the flock in Shechem? Now let's just keep this right there. Pay attention. I mentioned this before. I'm going to mention it again. A mother and a father, most likely sometimes fathers are ignorant because they don't have the nurturing mind, like eyesight, to observe things the way a mother does. Remember, with Abraham and with Isaac and Sarah, Hagar and Ishmael. Abraham loved Ishmael, but Sarah said, she gave him my son in the evil eye. The tension and the jealousy of Ishmael towards Isaac. So if the brothers would talk to him not peaceably, I'm sure Jacob was around and heard how they spoke to him. And he felt and knew what they would say, little smart stuff. Oh, your favorite. You don't want to get your pretty little hands dirty. Little slick, sly stuff like that. So for him to, after it done got, it's like, and when you're reading scriptures here and it says, and they hated him the more, and they hated him more, it means the ugly and the tension in the home begin to get more sharp and more thick and more evident and more obvious. But yet Jacob tells Joseph after the dream, when Jacob says, oh, must we bow? then it's like you're sending him off to the wolves. And his brothers envied him. His father kept, all right, let me go down. Verse 14. Wait, and Jacob said to Joseph, are not your brothers feeding the flock in Shechem? Come, I will send you to them. So he said to him, here I am. Then he said to him, please go and see if it is well with them, with your brothers, and well with the flocks, and bring back word to me. So he sent him out of the valley of Hebron, and he went to Shechem. Now a certain man found him, and there he was wandering in the field. And the man asked him, saying, what are you seeking? So he said, I'm seeking my brothers. Please tell me where they are feeding their flocks. And the man said, they have departed from here. For I heard them say, let us go to Dothan. So Joseph went after his brothers and found them in Dothan. Now, when they saw him afar off, even before he came near them, they conspired against him to kill him. Psalm 64. They encourage themselves with evil speech. They plan to hide snares. They say, who shall see us? Verses 5 of Psalm 64. Verse 18 of Genesis 37. Now, when they saw him afar off, even before he came near them, they conspired against him to kill him. Then they said to one another, look, this dreamer is coming. Look at this prophet, or this prophetess, or this little tattletale, this little snitch. This person always want to be so righteous. They want to be banging that Bible. They always talking about the Most High this and the Most High that. Or they saw vision. They heard this and they was in prayer. And, I can't have it. I can't. Come, therefore, let us now kill him and cast him into the pit. And we shall say some wild beast has devoured him. We shall see what will become of his dreams. If he dreamt of something that is to happen down the road, what would make a fool think? I'm trying to figure this part out. You jealous, envious, hating, buzzard brain devils out here. What makes y'all think that y'all counsel and y'all little plans and schemes will be hid from the Father and that you're going to be able to accomplish what you think you're going to accomplish? The thing that has blinded you is your hatred and your jealousy. You're going to be the one laying flat on the floor on your face looking simple in the end. You're going to be the one caught in the very trap that you lay. And if it's vibrating in your bosom, then it applies to you then. How about that? I'm sick and tired of this nonsense. Verse 21. But Reuben heard it, and he delivered him out of their hands and said, let us not kill him. And Reuben said to them, shed no blood, but cast him into the pit, which is in the wilderness, and do not lay a hand on him, that that Reuben was planning on delivering him out of their hands and bring him back to his father. So it came to pass when Joseph had come to his brothers that they stripped Joseph of his tunic and tunic of many colors that was on him. Then they took him and cast him into the pit, and the pit was empty. There was no water in it. And they sat down to eat a meal. Then they lifted up their eyes and looked, and there was a company of Ishmaelites coming from Gilead with their camels, bearing spices, balm, and myrrh on their way to carry them down to Egypt. So Judah said to his brothers, what profit is there if we kill our brother and conceal his blood? Come, let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother in our flesh. And his brothers listened. Verse 28. Then the Midianite traders passed by, so the brothers pulled Joseph up and lifted him out of the pit and sold him to the Ishmaelites for 20 shekels. And they took Joseph to Egypt. Then Reuben returned to the pit, and indeed Joseph was not in the pit, and he tore his clothes. And he returned to his brothers and said, the lad is no more. And where shall I go? So they took Joseph's tunic, killed a kid of goats, and dipped the tunic in the blood. So the plan they had for him, for the Ishmaelites to get him, the Most High intervened and allowed Midianites to some. So the Most High intervened in his hand and allowed for his plan to oversee their plan. No, wait. Excuse me. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Reuben wanted to come and get him out of there. But yet he was sold. Thank you, Holy Spirit, for bringing clarity. And he returned to his brothers and said, the lad is no more. And where shall I go? Wow. Shall they took a while and kill the goats? So they basically, that it wasn't just an animal they was trying to kill for to cover up the scheme, but they probably thought somebody killed him or something happened to him. That's crazy, man. So they took Joseph's tunic and killed a kid of goats and dipped the tunic in the blood. Then they sent the tunic of many colors and they brought it to their father and said, we have found this. Do you know whether it is your son's tunic or not? See, that's that phony stuff right there. That's that cap right there. See, look, stop playing. Is this your, like you ain't see him with that. Now, Joseph was sent by Jacob to go bring word. Hours go by. They're eating. They come back and there's no Joseph. Where is the intent, the fatherly or motherly instinct in this moment here? Well, we know Rachel's no longer living. He was nursed by the concubine. But this is just like, just take a moment, y'all, and be in this word, is be in the story. And he recognized it and said, it is my son's tunic. A wild beast has devoured him without doubt. Joseph is torn to pieces. On a positive note, that's a beautiful necklace. What version of the Bible do you recommend or suggest? Which version are you using? Does your channel accept donation? Oh, I'm sorry, I have not seen your questions. I do accept donations, and this version is a K. Oh, I didn't know. This a NKJV. Oh, I got this from my daughter, so because it was bigger print. But I have a Aramaic Peshitta. Okay, which is not translated by the Greek. I have a King James version. I have a Ahaya Yab's Bible, which is a Bible with no pagan terms in it, with the restored name of the Father, which is I am that I am, Ahaya, and him being referenced as husbandman, as the king stated over in John 14 and 15, where he says, I am the vine. 15, my father is you're the branches, body me. I am the vine, my father is a husbandman. And in that day, you shall no longer call me Bali, but you shall call me Ishi. Okay. So in that, this poor baby is tearing apart. Now, sometimes I like to read out of the version that you guys have, so that when I'm reading, y'all be like, wait, what did she say? Just for relevancy. But what I notice when I read out of my Peshitta, it's more clear, it's more straight, it's more just, it's more upright, it's more clean. The Greek versions, you already should know. You know, I mean, we got conquered by the Greeks. What you think the Greeks gonna do for us? They ain't looking out for us. So this Bible, of all things, I do recommend. This Bible you can Google. It runs on Amazon, Walmart. Do not get the black version. There's a Bible that has Ahaya Yasha. It's Yasha Ahaya Bible Scripture, which is called Yabs, Yasha Ahaya Bible Scriptures, but it has a black cover. I do not recommend that scripture. And my necklace states, I will forgive and forget. That's what my necklace says. Thank you. All right. And it kind of feels strange taking donations like that. I don't know why. I like people to hear me. I mean, if the Father blesses you to send a gift, so be it. Sometimes I have a hard time taking stuff, but I have a Cash App and a PayPal, but I'll discuss that later down the end if I can just finish reading. I thank you. And your name's Macabre. Macabre. Okay. Welcome, Macabre. And shalom and shalom to you. Yeah, I didn't even know this was a NKJV, yo. I got it from Ollie's Outlet because my daughter needed a bigger print to read along with us. And when I was reading out of it, I've seen some things that was like a little different. It never dawned on me. Wow. So your question helped me realize what I was reading. Thank you. All right. So we're in Genesis 37. Okay. At verses. Wait. I think I'm on the next page. Yeah, we over here at 34. Jacob then Jacob tore his clothes, put sackcloth on his waist, and mourned for his son many days. I could just cry right there. Like man. Oh. Look, the reason for this time for me to be reading this lesson here with you all is I want y'all to see how heavy and how senseless jealousy and envy is. For you to, so were y'all mad because your father loved Joseph and he didn't love y'all? Did you love your father? Did you love your father for enough to see your father hurt like this? Or their way was, now what? Now feel that. Were they like, yeah, feel that. Since you didn't want to love us, we'll make it like as if he never exists. Then one day he'll get over him and love us again. With knowing within themselves, they had a hand in the disappearance of their brother. This is their brother. No different than our brothers in Chicago and Philly, California, New York, and they will shoot, they will kill their own or our sisters. We will lay down in pleasure and then turn around and abort our young or have an evil heart towards your own children. I am most certainly sick and tired. I hate that nature. And let me tell you something. I have not always been a perfect mother, and I study myself to want to become an even better mother. If you were off sometime, mommy, and you love the Most High enough to love the children. Hey moms, like let's do better. Even when they say, mommy, hey, mom, and you want to be like, what? Be like, Father, please anoint me with patience to not respond to these little children like that. That is, I've watched some of my videos and sit back and be like, Hadassah, Ziari. That was not a nice reflection of love. That was off. That was not right. And then look, he was just trying to say this, or they was just trying to tell you that. We got to look at ourselves, family. We got to really let's be real. Let's be real with ourselves. Let's be real. Because David and his home was slightly no different. Those with the mantles of the prophetic, for some odd reason, it's always the ones closest to you that seem to hurt you the most. I don't know why it is, but it is that way. And I want to see. I don't think I mean, it's out of my control, but I do pray for the comfort of those who have that mantle. that they be strengthened. Those kind of things don't go past me. It's like stabs me in my side. And what I'm talking about is the rejection, the mistreatment, the slandering, the snakeism, the snakeisms against the anointed. You will see a whole nother side of me if I discern or I sniff something being done of a slight or disregard to the anointed. You can smile in my face all you want to, and there will be nothing for you. If the Father lets me know, he'll have to deal with you. Oh, he'll have to deal with you because you would prefer the Father to do it. Father. Read. Verse 35, and all his sons and all his daughters arose to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. And he said, for I shall go down into the grave to my son in mourning. Thus his father wept for him. Now the Midianites had sold him in Egypt to Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh and captain of the guard. I wonder what heart Jacob had in the moment he sent his son to him. We cannot overlook the fact that his father, he even questioned and said to him, son, gonna be above me? Well, we all have read the story. Now let's go to Genesis. Let's see where this excellence was going to bring him. Okay. Should have written it down. Did I write it down? Genesis 46, all praises. Thank you, Father. Okay. Starting at verses 3 to 4. Okay. All right, so let's start with verse 1. So Jacob took his journey with all that he had and came to Beersheba. Okay. And offered sacrifices to Ahiah of his father Isaac, the husbandman of his father Isaac. Now, let me tell y'all something will help y'all. When you see God, it's husbandman. When he revealed himself to Moses, he said, I am the husbandman of your father, of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, which means I was the keeper, preserver, the defense, the power for Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay, this is why the king said, and my father is the husbandman. Okay, he came to proclaim and to come in the name and to declare the works of the Father. Okay, and a husbandman provides, he preserves, he keeps, and he protects, and he produces. All right. Oh, this one. Let me highlight this one. So I love this one here. And the reason I love this verses 2 of Genesis 46, is because when you look at Genesis 32 and that angel that some try to say is the father wrestled with Jacob, and the angel said his name shall no longer be called Jacob. But yet here we see, then the Most High spoke. It says in this Bible, ISREL, in the visions of the night, and said, Jacob, Jacob. Now, the Father is not a man that he shall lie. The Father would not say, I'm not going to no longer call you Jacob. Your name should be this, and then turn around and call him that. He didn't do it with Abraham. You ain't never once see him say Abram after he done told Abraham his name was changed. If you've been watching me for some time, you know I am very passionate with this because I do not like liars. I don't like deception. I cannot stand sneaky stuff. And my father gave me a big mouth to expose for a reason. So I have no problem, because by the Holy Spirit, he revealed these things to me. And by his Spirit, I will proclaim them on the housetops. Verse 3. So he said, I am the Most High. Basically, I am that I am. I am the husbandman of your father. Do not fear to go down to Egypt, for I will make of you a great nation there. I will go down with you to Egypt, and I will surely bring you up again. And Joseph will put his hand on your eyes. Then Jacob arose from Beersheba, and the sons of Jacob carried their father Jacob. their little ones and their wives, in the carts which Pharaoh had sent to carry him. Wow. So they took their livestock and their goods, which they had acquired in the land of Canaan, and went to Egypt. Jacob and all his descendants with him, his sons and his sons' sons. And the reason I mentioned about the father calling him Jacob, Jacob, and the father didn't name him that, there was a fallen that named him that. And our people went off into the Medo-Persian, the Canaanite, and the Egyptian deities. And in that name is all three of them. I mean, three names in that whole thing. Basically, by that name, you see the journey of our idolatry. This is why he said, if my people are called by my name. If you were called by my name, but you're not. So which means you're called by someone else's name and you're going off after those. You're serving them. Just like if a woman gets married and she takes the name of the man she's married to. Well, we were married to the father, but by fornicating and whoring off, lying with and serving, we've become the wives to those other deities. Verse 7 of Genesis 46, his sons and his sons' sons, his daughters and his sons' daughters, and all his descendants he brought with him to Egypt. Now these were the names of the children of Jacob and his sons. And if you ever pay attention how you notice, you see in the same sentence or verse with Jacob, it's mentioned Ayesariah. And if you remove the mention of Ayesariah, you'll see it's completely irrelevant. It's completely not even necessary. I'm not trying to be funny. It really isn't. You don't need to say, and Jacob shall be glad and Ayesariah will rejoice. No, it's Jacob shall be glad and rejoice. Simple. Like, stop making it complicated. But see, the wicked scribes and the wicked little devils behind the come and sow tares amongst the wheat. Literally. So you can't read this word and act like there ain't no tares up in here. You can't be naive and think it's just, oh, they took his name away. If they took his name, we're called after his name. Don't you think they're going to hide your name too? What you were known for? The Father is upright. We were upright. Isaiah 44. No, it's 42. Yeah, is it 44 too? Let me refresh my memory because I am not the one for this nonsense. Let me see, is it 42? Tell me, I got what you need. Mm-hmm. It says 44 too. In my presence, you're free, baby. Yep. Isaiah 44 verse 2, thus saith the higher that made you and formed you from the womb, who will help you. Fear not, O Jacob, my servant, and you, Jeshurun, whom I have chosen. Who is Jeshurun? The upright. He's chosen the upright. And the upright ain't got to fight, wrestle, do a backflip, spinning roundhouse kick for his blessings and his promises and his blessings. And the covenant and the service. You just be upright. Simple. But the enemy, he likes to make stuff complicated. He likes to do obstacle courses and all this extra stuff. And that's why the king said, take my burden upon you, my yoke upon you. My burden is easy, my yoke is light. He ain't for all that complication, but some people like to make it complicated. All right. So when you read over there, I want to end with Joseph. I'm going to read a little bit of David, and then I'm going to end this stream. When you look at, okay, I'll read on. So be it. So the majority of 46 of Genesis, before I get on to that, I want to say something. When you look at the fact of how Jacob grieved, I don't know what the wickedness. It's like when you're filled with envy, then comes anger, jealousy, envy, and anger, and covetousness. They operate together, because jealousy. I wrote down this rising. generally refers to the thoughts or feelings of insecurity, fear, and concern over person or possessions. Jealousy consists of one or more emotions such as anger, resentment, inadequacy, helplessness, or disgust. Meaning of jealousy: to have resentment, bitterness, or hostility towards someone or something because they have or possess something another one doesn't. So he had dreams. They're like, oh, we're going to destroy this dreamer. But our people were spiritual. We knew that a dreamer who dreamt things of the future was called a prophet. So they did what? Like our nation did. See, I'm telling you, the story of Joseph is the story of our nation. And what did our people do to the prophets? They slayed them, did they not? This is why I look at Christianity with a side eye when they be all prophets. I mean, like, honestly, this is the kind of thing that people don't want to advertise. Like, people don't want people to know. Not that, like, you can hide. Like, you're supposed to fear man. I mean, but the point is this. People never really liked prophets. Our people, the wicked, didn't like them. Hello? They slayed the king and the prophets of old, to the point where Elijah was hiding and ravens had to feed him. That old unclean bird. I don't know why anyone would name their child Raven. Yeah, I said it. I'm not playing no more. I'm tired. Fed up with y'all. Little wicked little unclean birds. You unclean fowlers of the airways. Just causing rift and rafts and strife and contention because of your envy and your jealousy. I'm going to pray the next time somebody come around me with that spirit, Father, let it be known from the gate. But I feel that the Most High allows certain things to go covered because it's characteristic. It's like as if you guys are case studies for me. I'm studying your work. I'm learning you guys. All things work together for the good of those that love the Most High and are called according to his purpose. Even snake bites. He said, these signs shall follow them which believe. They shall pick up, serpents and not be harmed, and eat poisonous things. We pick up deadly things and not be harmed, and eat poisonous things and not be, poisoned. Things like that. Just trying to paraphrase it, but you get what I'm saying. And they shall tread upon the lion and the adder. Psalms 91. As long as the Most High's people, as long as your love is set on him, you cannot be moved. It doesn't matter how many comes against you. He stated in Psalms 91 that 1,000 shall fall at your left hand and 10,000 at your right. So numbers come, numbers fall. It's okay. Devils. Now let's go over here to Genesis 47 because Genesis 46 just talks about the sons, how they came, and the names and all that. Okay. But I want to start at verses 29 of Genesis 46 and proceed. So Joseph made ready his chariot and went up to Goshen to meet his father, Jacob. And he presented himself to him and fell on his neck and wept on his neck a good while. Now, people say the Most High, he changed the name of Abram to Abraham. He gave Abraham his son's name, Isaac. He didn't even let them have a plan. They didn't get an opportunity to name him. He said his name shall be Isaac. Now, with Jacob, he called him upright. When he says in Isaiah 44:2, I formed you from the womb, it means there were two in the womb, Jacob and Esau. They were fighting. Esau is the border wickedness. Jacob is Jeshurun, the upright one. So uprightness and wickedness will not exist together. They don't get along. So from the womb, Jacob was upright. And this is why it says over in Romans 8 that before anyone was born, done anything, good or evil, the election was made. Because the Most High said, I have made you. I've chosen you. If he say thou Jeshurun my chosen, that means he elected him from the womb. He was already there. You can call him trickster all you want. You can be mad all you want. It's gonna be okay. Because Jacob is the upright one. Period. Point blank in the period. That's just it is what it is. You want to know about the Most High and you're not Jacob? You better pay attention to Jacob then. Jacob that's upright. And the Jacob that's upright is born again and walks according to the spirit, not according to the flesh. Now, let's go on over here to the rest of 29 of Genesis 46. So Joseph made ready his chariot and went up to Goshen to meet his father Jacob. And he presented himself to him and fell on his neck and wept on his neck a good while. And Jacob said to Joseph, now let me die, since I have seen your face, because you are still alive. Then Joseph said to his brothers and his father's household, I want y'all to pay attention to Jacob. Jacob suffered with a disposition. If you know someone that's like always worrisome, anxiety, fearful, doubtful, you got to read how many times the Most High told Jacob not to fear. And on top of that, he was wanting to die because his son was gone. Here, his son is here and he still wants to die. He's now let me die. And in this sense, he's saying more, and now I can rest because I see that you're alive. But your whole life, but majority of the time, not whole life, but the majority of the time from Jacob, because he was already old. He was already in his age when he had Joseph. And to be in age and have to grieve like that, it can take a stress on your family, on your body. It can make you blind. It can make you have delirium, dementia. It can make you crippled. It can really hinder you. Stress will destroy your health. And this was beyond stress. This was grief to the third power. So he's like, I don't want to be in this state no more. That's why it says the Most High said he's going to touch your eyes. He probably was weeping so much. He could have bust vein vessels in his eyes. Then Joseph said to his brothers and to his father's household, I will go up and tell Pharaoh to say to him, my brothers and those of my father's house who were in the land of Canaan have come to me. And the men are shepherds, for their occupation has been to feed livestock. And they brought, now this is wrong. I don't know. This version's off. I'm going to have to read this in my Aramaic because that part is very key. Let me tell you something. A little minor mistake of misquoting a translation will destroy the whole context of story. Okay. Let me tell you why. Because Joseph wasn't going to go to no Pharaoh and tell them my brothers are shepherds, because the Egyptians didn't like shepherds. Let me get Genesis 46. 46, 31 in my Aramaic. You're worthy of all of me. Yeah, sure you're worthy. What the matter, Mama Gail? The bush, okay, 31. And Joseph said to his brothers and to his father's household, I will go to and inform Pharaoh and say to him, my brothers and my father's household who were in the land of Canaan have come to see me. And the men are shepherds, for they have cattle raisers. So shepherds, but not to say he's going to go to them and tell them he's shepherds, because when you read on in the next chapter, you're going to see why. And they have brought their flocks and their herds and all that they have. And it shall come to pass when Pharaoh shall call you and shall say to you, what is your occupation? Here it is. You shall say to him, your servants are cattle raisers from their youth, even until now, both we and also our fathers, that you may dwell in the land of Goshen, for the Egyptians despise all those who feed sheep. No, now that I don't really like that version. It's better in the KJV on this one. I have to get a KJV version on that, because what he's saying was Tell them that you trade by cattle. You're traders. Traders were very popular in the land. You have spices. We have this. You got that. We got the. Those are businessmen. That's like Wall Street people. That's like you get respect for that. But a shepherd, they're like, oh, you just sit outside all day. You smell like animal. Yeah, it's like a businessman to a farmer. See what I'm saying? And so, mind you, this is the greatness of Egypt. Well, not Egypt's in their greatness. Like Egypt is like America right now. And so that's like you as a Amish person going to New York City and wanting to get a job on Wall Street. Like they're gonna be looking at you like, or you want to go to lunch with the bosses, or you want to go to lunch, like what? You gonna take them suspenders and them pants off? And the reason why is because I mean, it's not that like our people were shepherd people. Okay, we keep the field, like we're people of the field. So even the Most High chose a people that are the lowly. You mean, okay? We traveled, so what we had became our job. Just like Jacob dwelt in tents, and Joseph and Adam was in the garden to keep. First person that was made was a keeper of the ground, so it ain't nothing to be frowned upon. But the mindset of the air of the proud ones, Egyptians, they're like, with his little thing, fanning flies. Oh, you was in the field? So Joseph went before them. I'm looking at my old camera. As to prepare a place for them by the Most High. I go to prepare a place for you. You got to see the picture here. The king. Okay, my father's house are many mansions. So in the land of Egypt was, the land of Goshen was very, prosperous. And not only that, but he gave them word that if they took heed to, they would be able to dwell in. Again, I'm going to say he gave them word. A lot of people, I have not heard anyone, when the Father showed me this, as I stated, it will be a year on the 7th, October 7th of last year, when I went to that location of Maryland, Harriet Tubman. And the Father had me read this on the ride. And I was like, he opened my eyes for me to be able to see why our people were cursed in Egypt and they had to go into captivity. Not just for they disregard his word, but they put their hands on him. And his word says, touch not my prophets and do my servants no harm. Because if you do, a consequence is coming for you. So they've already reaped with that. Not only that did they do something, but they lied. They covered it up. Though he forgave them, you know what he did? He made himself blameless from their iniquity. That's the strength of forgiveness versus holding grudges. So once the Most High reveals you somebody snaked you, just put some word on the wound and allow him to deal with the snake. He might put the snake in your hand and test you, but you'd be like, no, Father, I won't rob you. I'll let you get vengeance. And he'd be like, you know what? Well said. Now go ahead and chop that head off. Or I'll just have them serve you for some time. Then I'll take them out the way. How's that sound? Sound like a bet to me, Dad. Now let's read on. I want to get it. So basically, if you have a regular KJV and your KJV, when you read in verses 34 of 46, I'm going to start at verses 31. And Joseph said to his brethren, and unto his father's house, I will go up and show Pharaoh and say unto him, my brother and my father's house, which were in the land of Canaan, are come unto me. And the men are shepherds for their trade. Have been to feed cattle, and they have brought their flocks and their herds and all that they have. So he had to give explanation of why they got all these animals. Like they look like, smell like shepherds to me. What's this all about? So he said, he used wisdom on that. Then he says to his brothers, and it shall come to pass when Pharaoh shall call you and shall say, what is your occupation? that you shall say, thy servants' trade have been about cattle from our youth even unto now, both we and also our fathers, that we may dwell in the land of Goshen, for every shepherd is an abomination to the Egyptians. Now, this was the straw that broke the camel's back. Genesis 47. We ain't going to read all of it. We're going to go over here to about probably 6. Genesis 47, verses 1. Then Joseph came and told Pharaoh and said, my father and my brethren and their flocks and their herds and all that they have are come out of the land of Canaan. And behold, they are in the land of Goshen. And he took some of his brethren, even 5 men, and presented them unto Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto his brethren, what is your occupation? And they said unto Pharaoh, thy servants. Notice they said thy servants, which means we're not serving Joe. Look how disrespectful they are. The Most High has exalted Joseph to be second in command next to Pharaoh, which means he's like a vice president, which means, and Pharaoh already said, whatever Joseph say, so be it. But yet they come here like, all right, we in here now, disregard your word. We're your servants. We're not serving him. So that means they still carrying that what in their heart? That hatred, that jealousy, that envy, that resentment, that bitterness, that anger. While they still got the plot from their youth iniquities. You know what I mean? You read in the word in Psalms where David said, remember not my sins of my youth. But they still guilty of sins from their youth and got the nerve during the time of a famine, while he has already went before them and gave them word and is showing love to them, and they still want to spite him. This is what you call a two-timing crossing snake. This is a two-headed snake here. Oh, this makes me so mad. Breathe. So they're going to say, thy servants are shepherds, both we and also our fathers. Verses 4. They said, moreover, just push the pedal to the metal unto Pharaoh, for to sojourn in the land we are come, for thy servants have no pasture for their flock. Oh, let's put on the victimization crown. Nobody respects a victim or pity, woe is me. You're sitting at the table of bosses and champions. It's just imagine. I'm not saying the Egyptians are, but just picture this. You sitting at the table with bosses and champions and overcomers and entrepreneurs and people that make things happen. And you at the table wanting to be there. And there's someone that's sitting at the table that has allowed you to become and summons you onto them to even be invited in the presence. And they giving you instruction on how you could get the job and then have your life be turned around. And you turn around and say, the person said, don't tell them you was in prison for this, that's, and the third. Tell them that whatever, like I tell you, they gave me instructions, so it's not going to be whatever. And they go, you know what? I'm going to just tell you the truth. Da 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 da. And as you're sitting there, they're signaling the waitress like, this meeting is done. I'm out of here. That's what's happening. Put that picture in your mind. They say, for thy servants have no pasture for their flocks, for the famine is sore in the land of Canaan. Now, therefore, we pray thee, let thy servants dwell in the land of Goshen. We're begging now. Can we stay? I got these cheeseburgers. Verse 5. And Pharaoh spake unto Joseph, saying, thy father and thy brethren are come unto thee. Pharaoh said, they're your problem, Joseph. They're your servants. So y'all just want to disrespect Joseph and say, we're your servants, Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said, no. You're his servants. There go your humble pie. This is what the Father will do to your enemies and those who are jealous and envious of you. He will make them your footstool. So being a jealous person, you busy hating on this person or envious of that person. The Most High gonna give you a job, all right. Since you so occupied with that person, you might as well serve that person then. Make your hate worth your wow. So if you're operating with jealousy and hatred, and you have done something to the Most High's prophets or prophetess, or little minor, little midget lead prophets, junior prophets. I'm talking about children prophets and young men and women prophets. You've done anything to them, you better get right now today. Don't come talking to me. Don't go to the Father. I don't want to hear nothing till you get right. And the Father let me know. He's already given me a clearance on some. I will be not undermining my Father's word for you. I don't care how you dress up, what you got to say. You go into the Father. We all got to go into the Father and make sure we are right before him. We're going to read a few in David and I'm going to get out of here. We're starting in 1 Samuel chapter 18. And it came to pass when he had made an end of speaking unto Saul, that the soul of Jonathan was knit with the soul of David, and Jonathan loved him as his own soul. And Saul took him that day and would let him go no more home to his father's house. Some people, snakes. That's that narcissist. I believe Saul had a narcissistic personality. They want to take you under. That's like a wicked man who wants to take in a woman. Be like, like that. I saw you and him walking in the rain, and I turned around and see I'll never be the same. Or you took the young girl in. You took her. When she was like trying to take the little fur coat, you was like, hey, not so fast. Put down that coat. Go up out of here with the stuff you came in here with. You took something like, some people take things unto themselves, or they look out for others so that are less than them, so that they can feel better or they can feel over. So David basically just slayed Goliath. The Most High's favor was upon David, and you want him to be under your wing so everybody can be, that's Saul's man. So while they're looking at you, David, they can look at Saul. I dealt with this when I first moved to this state. It was a bunch of little holes. A bunch of these girls was just ran through. And there was this one girl I told y'all about. She had a little snake walking in there in a basketball court. And when she was all friendly and fond of me. And guys were like telling me, don't hang with her. She's a whore. You don't want to play with her. They literally was just straight front with it. They was like, don't play with her. Don't hang with her. She a hoe. She knew that I was new to the area, that a lot of guys probably were trying to talk to me. And she was like, ran through. So she's like, let me hang with you. As well as the rest of them ran through holes that was out there. And I don't say hoes as a way as I'm better or down on anybody that suffers with whoredom. You can be transformed and delivered too. Okay, if he calls you. Can't nobody just come on to him. He got to call you. And I was naive. I wasn't worried about no guys. I wasn't worried about no dudes or nothing like that, paying no men no mind. But the girls were, the young girls of my age at that time were well aware that the guys were seeking me out. They were like trying to, who gonna talk to, who gonna bust a move. So I was standing somewhere out there at the basketball court, and somebody took it upon their little funny looking selves and to punch me in the back of my head. I turned around and asked no questions, and every single person behind me got punched. And I was on house arrest at the time because I was disrespected verbally by a Caucasian Edomite security guard in the mall, and I put my hands on him. And I can say I had a violent upbringing because of trauma I endured. And I was not being molested at a young age and taken advantage of. It gave me this demeanor towards men. So the security guard said something to me crazy. I snapped. Long story short, I was on house arrest. So they were intimidated and they were tired of it. They're like, oh, we're going to try this girl. We're going to see where her hands is at. So after I fought them and they all jumped me, notice as they was jumping me, it was as if they weren't even touching me though. Like that's when I had to know the Most High was with me even then, because they're swinging, but I wasn't feeling nothing. Nobody got me on my ground. They couldn't even, not even one could get me on the ground. But when I did trip, when I was down on the ground, I was still swinging and nobody still touched me. And I told them when I got up, when I get off of house arrest, I'm coming to see every single one of y'all one by one. I want my box from every single one of y'all one by one. Shortly after that, one by one of them, behind each other's backs, started coming up to me apologizing. So the girl that was with me that was wanting to be friends, she was the ringleader that was implanted. The Holy Spirit gave me these things years later down the road. Because if guys are telling me that you a hoe, why are you mad at me? Because they told me you was a hoe. You was the one that was working hard at being a hoe. So your reputation came back as being a hoe. You mad at me? You want to try to diminish my reputation? So no, if I can't stop a man from wanting to be with you, I can make you get beat up and then they won't want you. You can get beat up. But she didn't get beat up though. I didn't get beat up, honey. So you just look at them kind of personalities like Saul, taking David in. I'm sorry, we had to do that little curveball real quick, but today is the day. I, Ziari, a messenger servant of the Most High, I am not playing and compromising with you snakes no more. Once my Father reveals to me who you are going to be cut off. That's it. I will love you and forgive you from a distance. And I'm loved by applying the laws with you, because love is keeping the commandments. So I will be lawful unto you from a distance. Don't call me. Don't bother me. Don't text me. You're blocked. That's where I'm at with it. I don't care if you're family, friend, cat, dog, mailman, president. I don't care. CEO of a company. Don't even matter to me. And even if you don't do something to me, even if you do somebody else with the same type of mantle of my Father, when they hurt, I hurt. Now, over here, back to 1 Samuel 18 in verses 5, I believe. And David went out whithersoever Saul sent him. So David was doing what he was told. So here it is. Saul want to be like, yeah, that's my servant. You know, I sent him out there. You know what I'm saying? I sent my man out there. He gonna handle some of my light work for me. Saul was a very cocky brother. Like, I'm sorry, he was. Even when I was reading last night, he was telling them, he said, listen here, you fellow Benjamites. This is David, the son of Jesse. Is he going to provide for y'all and give y'all armor and give y'all lands and vineyards? Is he going to do for y'all the way I do for y'all? So don't be wanting to be servants to David. Saul already knew within himself the Most High's hands with him. Samuel told you he taking the kingdom from you. So Saul, stop acting brand new. You already know somebody finna come over and take the throne. So I don't know why you're mad. Oh, I know why you're mad. Because the Most High's hands on him. Right. Verse 6. And it came to pass as they came when David was returned from the slaughter of the Philistines, that the women came out of all the cities of Jacob, singing and dancing to meet Saul, with tabrets and with joy and with instruments of music. And the women answered one another as they played and said, Saul has slain his thousands and David his 10,000s. And Saul was very wroth, and the saying displeased him. And he said, they have ascribed unto David 10,000. So this one's opposite of the story I just gave y'all. Here it is, women. So it's either you a male anointed one or a female anointed one. Either way you go, if you're anointed, you better believe you're going to be surrounded by the envy and the hater. It's just like piranhas. And they expect you to be like, oh, you're not humble because you stating where you're at. Guess what? It is what it is. The Most High favors and loves and chose who he chose to. Anybody gonna apologize because the Most High put greatness. It states in the scriptures, one he gave 5 talents, some he gave 3, and the other ones he gave 1. Why is the person who got 5 talents going high and say, you know what, because you only got 1, I'm gonna just act like I only got 1. Man, I got 5 talents and I'm not gonna apologize for it. It is what it is. I'm not going to apologize for being great. I'm not going to apologize for the Most High loving me. I'm not going to apologize because his hand is in my life. I'm not going to apologize because I'm a servant of the Most High. I work for him. He provides my wages and my goods. I'm not. If you're mad, kick rocks. You watching me though. A lot of y'all haters be watching me though. It's like you make it your business. Haters will support you more than your freaking friends, man. I tell you, boy, it's crazy. Because here it is. Saul didn't even want David to leave no more. He was like, you staying with me from now on. So I can keep an eye on you. I'm going to subscribe to your channel just so I can watch you. Oh, look, she live again. Oh, look, he live again. Oh, he just dropped another song. Oh, she just made another dress. Oh, my gosh. They got another house or another car. Set your funny looking demonic self down somewhere. Demons be busy. Sickening. Oh, Father, help me get it together today because I'm telling you, Father, breathe. And it came to pass as they came, I read that part. Verse 10. And it came to pass on the morrow that the evil spirit from the Most High came upon Saul. Let's give clarity to that. Perhaps somebody has any remnants of a Christian mindset where they think when you see evil spirit from the Most High, like, I thought he was all jolly. He's all hurt. And I'm saying this in sense of example. COVID-19 strikes. Plague strike out. God, please help all these people and please help them. Stop. No. This is the Most High's doings. Be mindful what you're praying for. Secondly, all spirits come from the Father, whether they be good or bad. All things are of the Father's. So if he summons an evil spirit upon you, it is what it is, because you ain't going to give no credit to the wicked one. All credit goes unto the Most High. There's clarity on that. Perhaps there's someone watching me with the ignorant bone. I want to help bring clarity to you in love. All right. So it says, the prophets prophesied and it came to pass on the morrow that the evil spirit came from higher upon Saul, and he prophesied in the midst of the house, and David played with his hand as at other times, and there was a javelin in Saul's hand. Let me see, what do you think he was prophesying? He was speaking some things that had to be for, you ever have your enemy bring you a report? You know, it was nothing but the Father. Because prophecy is of the map, is the revealing or the knowledge or the wisdom concerning things to come, or a matter at hand. As David's playing music, Saul was probably prophesying sweet, prophetic, and you shall be great, David. And the Most High is going to be upon you, or whatever. I'm just trying to give y'all a picture. Like, I ain't trying to say that's what it is, what it ain't, but just put this in your mind, because you know we don't got no animation, we don't got no visuals other than what we can see in the spirit of what we read and what was revealed to us by the Father. But one must wonder what he was prophesying. Okay. Where was I at? I bring this to me because this one's smaller print. That's why I'm on edge. That's why I get the bigger one. Let me see. Where was I at? Okay. And David played with his hand, and other times there was a javelin in Saul's hand. And Saul cast a javelin, for he said, I will smite David even to the wall with it. And David avoided it out of his presence twice. So David was smooth. So that's just where I'm going to end it at with this one. Some people's javelins is their mouth, like it says in Psalm 64. I'm going to read that. Psalm 64. Except die. And it says, hear my voice, O Most High, and my meditation. Preserve my life from fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret plots of the wicked, whether they be in their heart or amongst others. From the rebellion of the workers of iniquity, who sharpen their tongue like a sword, javelin, whichever have you may, and bend their bows to shoot their arrows with bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the blameless. David ain't did nothing to that man but what he asked him to do. The anointed ain't doing nothing. The chosen ain't doing nothing but being great because the Most High made us to be. Ain't nobody finna apologize to you. Don't try to make humility be not acknowledging the goodness of the Most High in our lives. It is what it is. It is what it is. So if you're a friend to my enemy, stay where you at. Don't come over here because I'm not looking for you. Okay? I bet you didn't see this coming, did you? They never do. So with that being said, I want to thank you all for tuning in. For those that are of the Most High Spirit, who are led by his Spirit, if you have wronged your brother and sister, please take this. I summons you to be. This is an urgent breaking news. Please humble yourself before the Most High. Mommy? His grace and his mercy gives you opportunity to confess and to get right. And confess to those you have wronged.
I need to do a huge favor.
You need to do a huge favor? What's that?
I need you to go get my car out of the truck.
Okay, I'm about to end the stream now. I'll do it. Thank you for behaving while mommy was live. I appreciate it. And get right with your brothers and sisters. Either you operating like Joseph. Let me tell you something. For those who are chosen and those that oversee those that are chosen. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Most High shall deliver us out of them every time. Just like twice here it was stated in 1 Samuel 18 that David ducked and dodged. He bobbed and weaved them javelins. You hear me? Just when somebody's talking slick, when the Holy Spirit drops in somebody's talking about you. Okay, Father. I guess they ain't got nothing else better to do. I guess they're not abiding in the secret place of the Most High and abiding under the shadow of the Almighty. I guess they haven't set their love upon you. Of course they would be doing that. I'm gonna scratch my head. I'm not mad at y'all. Like DMX said, I'm gonna trust a snake to be a snake. Okay. And it is what it is. So if anyone does care to Macabre to send a gift, the Father blesses your spirit to put something to give. Let me see. I'm gonna give you my paper, my Cash App thing. This Cash App is really my husband's Cash App. It's under my husband's account that I use. I haven't made one for myself, but it is what it is. Okay, so it's $. Okay, Francis 951. There it is. That's my Cash App. $ Francis FRANCES 951. You can send a generous amount of whatever touches your heart to that, and I appreciate it in advance. And thank you for all those that are obedient and give when they are moved and they're touched by the Spirit to give, not grudgingly or with obligation to try to whatever. All right. I thank you all for tuning in. I pray this lesson can help you those out there with either being badgered by jealous vipers or you're a badger. This message can help both. Here we go. Here's a few scriptures. Proverbs 14:30, James 3:16, 1 Corinthians 3:3, 1 Corinthians 13:4, Ecclesiastes 4:4. There is one I will be reading on here that is very important, so I'm just going to let you know that now. Ecclesiastes 4:4. Song of Solomon, chapter 8, verse 6. Song of Solomon, chapter 8, verse 6, lets you know jealousy is cruel as the grave, which means a person who's jealous, they want to be cruel till they see you to the grave. Their cruelty will see you to the grave. They don't want you to know they're jealous of you. They like to hide behind a fake, phony face. Because the wicked operate in secrecy. They don't operate bold like the righteous. Devils. Mark 7, verses 21 through 22. James 4, verses 2 to 3. Galatians, don't worry if you're wondering, what bit her, what climbed up her, whatever have you. I'm all right. I'm just fed up with the phonies and the fakes. I'm sick and tired of y'all. I'm just waiting for the Most High to remove the wicked off the planet. Here we go. Galatians 6:4. I'm going to get this one. Galatians 6:4. Galatians 6:4. Let's see. Acts. You're worthy of all of me. Yes, there it goes. I know I skipped it. Okay, 6:4, beloveds. Okay, it says, but let every man examine his own work. Is it 6:4? Oh, that's 5. Yeah, 6:4. But let every man examine his own work, and then may he glory within himself alone and not among others. Glory with among yourself. Just because somebody states, the Most High loves me, he's great, his hand's in my life, and or whatever like that, they're glorying in the Most High. It may come off to some of the insecure, the bitter, the ones who are intimidated. It may come off like, that person's bragging, or that person's boasting, or that person's not humble. That's not the case. With all thy getting, get understanding. In everything, give thanks. Rather the good things or the bad, because all things work together for the good of the most of those who are called to the Most High according to his purpose. So whether a snake bites you or somebody hand you a cookie, it's gonna work for your good. That's enough to rejoice and do a backflip for. If you ask me. So I'm gonna play one more song before I get up out of here, y'all. And then I'm gonna let y'all go. This is my song.
No, don't do it.
Which one? You don't like her?
No.
It's gonna be okay.
No, can I pick?
Back up.
Can I pick?
When I'm off here, you can pick.
To you, I give all things for you. These arms,
These arms.
I say, even in my suffering, you're worthy of all of me. Things to make you proud.
Just want to make him proud.
Everything I do right now,
Everything I do, Father,
is gonna be for you, and I vow to view me the way you do.
I gotta do you like you do.
But in your spirit first, meditating on your
Meditate
word.
on your word.
Hey, 'cause even when I'm suffering, you're worthy of all of me. In
Hallelujah.
you, the fullness shall dwell, yeah. Through you, I'll always prevail, yeah. Reconcile me to yourself, pour your blood out so I don't live helpless. You're just your word, yeah. Your love overwhelming, forever and ever. 'Cause even if I'm suffering, you're worthy of all of me. Da da dee da da, da da dee da da. Hey. Even if I'm suffering, you're worthy of all of me. Da da dee da da, da da dee da da. Yeah. 'Cause even when I'm suffering, you're worthy of all of me.
To all my suffering brothers and sisters out there, I say, just know, be comforted. The Most High loves you. He with you. You're not alone. I'm gonna play this other one since I kept getting interruptions.
Gas hack. What's
These two songs really bless my spirit. Pardon my head. And after this song, I gotta go. But this song really blessed my spirit. Just please hear the lyrics because y'all didn't get to hear the whole lyrics in the beginning.
Ooh, yeah. I see the pain inside your eyes. I know there's plenty things you're trying to hide from me. Don't fake it, lower your pride. You can put your trust in me. Pour your heart to me. I feel it. All the pain you went through, I know it, I've seen it. Let me take that off from you. Release it, I'm here, baby. All this love was meant for you. I know you don't think it, but all this time I've been here with you. Trust in me. I got all you need. I promise I'm here, baby. All those tears I done caught on my seat. I'm here, baby. Put your trust in me. In my presence, you're free, baby. In my presence, you're free, baby. Trust in me. I got all you need. I promise I'm here, baby. All that waiting meant for you in this moment, release, baby. By my stripes, you're healed. I promise you're free, baby. In my presence, you're free, baby. I can't take no more. My mind about to blow. Can feel it deep below. Can do this thing alone. So Lord, release my soul from all the things that keep me up at night. Fear polluted my mind lately. I've been going through things that make me wanna give up on a daily. Nothing feels worth it. All of my life I've been hurting. Instead I've been broken. The people I love keep on hurting me. There seems like no way out. I wanna scream and shout. Don't feel like myself. If you hear me, I need your help. Trust in me. I got all you need. I promise I'm here, baby. All those tears I done caught on my seat. I'm here, baby. Put your trust in me. In my presence, you're free, baby. In my presence, you're free, baby. Trust in me. I got all you need. I promise I'm here, baby. All that waiting meant for you in this moment, release, baby. By my stripes, you're healed. I promise you're free, baby. In my presence, you're free, baby.
I'll be seeing the little children that the Father puts his fire in. And I see their pain and their hurt. I feel it. He feels it. Because the spirit in them is the same spirit in me. In which we do unto the least of his, we are doing it unto him. So please, I am pleading with you all to hear me today. Even if you're not doing intentional evil, another form of abuse for our brothers and sisters that we as parents have to do better at is not neglecting to water them by this word.
Are you done now?
We must make sure that we do not allow the inheritance of the Most High to just be wasted and tarnished and to gather dust and rust. We got to polish and polish that thing. Okay, baby. So I'm going to let y'all go. And that song, that artist up there goes another scammer. It's on the thing. Tati Sachi. Love you all. Shalom. Peace. Shalom. Shalom. Good day to you. Trust.